Welcome back. Now we'll look at where markets ended the week after stocks hit new highs all week, and a shockingly weak jobs report Friday raised fresh questions about the strength of the labor market and what that means for the Federal Reserve. The U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs in the month of July.
So the jobs data show that things are a little bit more precarious than a lot of people thought. And they also show that the Fed is definitely exerting restriction on the labor market, which to me is not necessarily the right thing given the inflation data and the inflation outlook. I don't think it's the right thing to be causing pressure on the labor market from the central bank. There's nothing in the inflation expectations in the bond market data that would make you remotely concerned about inflation or central bank credibility or what the Federal Reserve is doing. Instead, the increase in yields that we've seen lately is driven by the long-term real component, and that's tied to growth rate. So what the market is doing is recognizing that growth is going to be better in the future. Part of that is driven by what's happening in technology. Part of that is driven by what's happening in the deregulation and tax policy efforts that incentivize investment. But what we're being told is that it's the real component that's related to the economy that's doing better and not worse inflation expectations. He feels very strongly about peeling back forward guidance about the Fed not holding the market's hand, telling it exactly what it's going to do in the future. I think that's the right policy. I think too much forward guidance is a bad thing. But there's two consequences of that. One is that there are elements of the Fed that do want to give forward guidance, which means that they're talking and there's no offsetting for it. With less uncertainty means you don't need to price more risks.
All right. Makes sense. Stephen, great to have you this weekend. Thanks so much.